Welcome back. All right, on what's going to be a very busy day today in the NHL. Have a nice quick news video for all you fine people out there. And yeah, good news for Nashville fans. It looks like Philip Forsberg is back to play for the first time in a few weeks. He is skating with Johansson and Tolvanen at practice. So that's a big return for the Nashville Predators and should add them some goals and some points up front. Also, Braden Shen returns tonight for the St. Louis Blues. So not all injury news is about players being out for good. I'd have the Malkin news on the board if there was any news in it. So the Penguins announced that they have nothing to announce. Basically, like Mike Sullivan's like, well, we have a ballpark, but we're not going to tell you because we're not going to tell you. So, all right, keep your ballpark to yourself then. But Shen returns tonight. Scott Wedgwood starts tonight for the Arizona Coyotes. What's newsworthy about Wedgwood is his record with the Coyotes. It's 3-1-1 with a 2.04 goals against and a 940 save percentage. He keeps that up, they're going to have to figure something out because it ruins the tank when you've got a guy who has a record like that. So tonight he's going to get a test with Edmonton. So I may have put those numbers on the board so we can compare them tomorrow and say, so how much did Scott Wedgwood drop? Because remember, Connor McDavid's 17-game point streak to start the season, his 25-game point streak during the regular season in general, both of those streaks were snapped last night by the Dallas Stars. Edmonton likely is going to want to score a bunch of goals, probably early, and Wedgwood's going to be in the line of fire. So wish him the best, wish Arizona the best. We'll see what happens tonight. Sasha Barkov is skating, but he is at least 2 weeks away from a return. So for Florida, they have to get through the rest of the time without Barkov and continue to win, which so far they've been able to do relatively well. I was looking at some other power rankings today. I got a kick out of just how wild and fluctuating they were. It's the ESPN / Hockey News ones. And some of them I saw moving up, and I thought, so that team moves up 9 spots. But didn't they lose every game since the last time you guys? So it's just, yeah. Anyways, and they had Florida at, I think, 4th or 5th or some. Yeah, and I thought, no. So anyways, it's one of the, I do compare. One of the reason that I do it on Saturdays, and there are long-time subscribers that know this, is that the first time that I was getting ready to do my own power rankings, the question was asked as to whether or not I was influenced by other power rankings. And I didn't want to have that perception out there. So since they're all posted on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, I post Saturday, and I tried to make sure I was posting before others did. Now power rankings are posted year-round on hockey websites, but that's why I ended up using Saturday. Anyways, that piece of information out there and everything. Let's move on to the Vancouver Canucks. 5-game road trip starts tonight. And again, we may see a big change in the team's makeup, whether it's a trade, whether it's a change behind the bench, whether it's some kind of a Squid Game set up in the locker room where only half the players actually end up playing that night. I don't know what's going to happen, but they're going to Pittsburgh first tonight. Then they're in Columbus, Boston, Montreal, and Ottawa. Here's where it's interesting. Pittsburgh, not an easy game. Columbus, also not an easy game. Boston, same thing. Montreal traditionally against Vancouver has very good numbers. Might be different without Carey Price. And Ottawa, while Vancouver owned Ottawa early, by the end of the season, Ottawa was playing pretty well against Vancouver too. So we'll see. And Travis Green saying today that the fans are tuning everything out. They may be doing their best, but the media, the fans, it's pretty loud in Vancouver. The players know what's going on. The players are quite aware of when they're in trade rumors and when they're not. And so I would imagine there's a lot of uncertainty right now in that locker room. So hopefully we don't see a Squid Game style kind of thing, but it's never know. All right, the Olympic jerseys are out. I'm going to say this about the Olympic jerseys. They're meh for me. They're not... Like, I have most of the international jerseys that I would need for the Olympics, like the big countries, that I would need to cover from a hockey perspective. And so I don't feel the need to get the Olympic jerseys. Because I know people are going to ask me, like, is he going to get the Olympic jerseys? Nah. The USA ones are okay. They're just, it just says USA on them. The Canadian ones are, well, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. when you realize that, and I think it was, I don't know that Wyshynski necessarily came up with it, but the maple leaf is in the shape of what it looks like a turkey's backside. It's not, yeah. And I would imagine it's too late for Team Canada to look and go, oh God, it does, and fix it. So go turkey backsides. So yeah, I'm not intending to get anything new. The one that I did get recently, I got the 1972 Canada Cup jersey. Van Base, which is the Vancouver Canucks store, was selling them, and I thought, yeah, that'd be great for covering the Olympics. Which is going to be interesting because in the event that, let's just say the NHL doesn't go, so they're talking about All-Star Weekend and needing to keep things locked down, because if you go over to the Olympics and you test positive, you are locked down for 3 weeks. That's it, right? And so they cannot afford to have anybody testing positive. And there's fans who are saying the right thing, which is, so players who are going to the Olympics, why don't we just not have them at the All-Star game like the NFL does with the Pro Bowl / Super Bowl? Right. I agree with that. But I don't know that sponsors necessarily would if you found out all the big stars were getting on a plane and going overseas rather than being a part of All-Star Weekend. But I do agree that those players, once the NHL's done playing their games, should just get on a plane and go over and get ready for the Olympics. But the jerseys themselves are just kind of meh. Although Finland, I saw Finland's, and Finland's isn't too bad. But I already have a Finland jersey, so I don't. It's not the same as the NHL ones. It's not like there's a bunch of thirds and stuff that I have to have that. The one weird part to me is I've always thought that your country, their gear should be, in most cases, should be the colors of the country's flag, and Canada's always got black in there, which is weird because there's no black in our flag yet. At some point, maybe we highlight the maple leaf with black, but at this point, we haven't. So yeah, they're okay. They're Nike jerseys, right? They'll be fine. But again, I'm not planning on getting any, especially the turkey backside. That does not work. I have a couple of Team Canada jerseys. I'm fine. Elliot Friedman is reporting on this. So we're a few games away from when Evander Kane can return. And the question has been asked about whether or not he's going to actually return and play for San Jose or what might happen there. So what's being said by Friedman, and I double-checked this too, is that the Sharks are willing to retain salary in the event that they decide to make a move. So there's no trade that's imminent. There's nothing that's happening right now, but they are willing to retain salary in order to move his contract, which is necessary at this stage because his value has definitely dropped as a trade piece, right? So we'll see. We'll see if there's any interest. I've already seen the post too of Jim Benning, don't pick up the phone. Yep. No, I agree. But yeah, we'll see what happens because if Evander Kane can rediscover his scoring touch, he can be a very useful player. And that scoring touch he's looking to rediscover is one he had just last season. So it's not like he's old. It's not like he's not producing. It's just there's all this other baggage there. And to me, it feels like, so how's Carolina going to make this work? Because it just feels like after the reclamation project of Tony DeAngelo, they might go, you know what? They're going to retain some salary? Sure, we'll talk. So we'll see whether or not maybe Carolina emerges, because why not? There are certain teams that are able to get these players and help to get them going. In some cases, like I said, with Carolina, it might be players who, people think there's a character issue and they figure everything out and they get everything smoothed out. And then there's teams, too, that just have amazing work they do with goaltenders. Tonight, Jack Campbell in LA against the Kings, it was the Kings that saved Campbell's career. If he had stayed in Dallas, he's not in the NHL right now. Dallas did him no favors whatsoever. It's part of the reason why I'm so touchy about Ottinger, because it's like, I've seen this, and if you're going to keep a goaltender down when you should be trying to give him opportunities to succeed and give him that opportunity front and center, you don't know what you're doing to that long-term picture for that player. And in Campbell's case, yeah, the Kings absolutely resurrected his career, and now Toronto is reaping the benefits. So Toronto should be saying thanks, LA. But we'll see how that game goes tonight. There's 14 of them, of course, so a couple of fingers crossed that I'll be able to figure this out with all the boards so that I'm not I mean, overwhelmed is a term that I don't use because I don't get overwhelmed on these nights anymore. I used to, because I used to obsess on following absolutely everything in every game, and that's just not possible. So I don't try to follow everything in every game. I try to follow things in real time. I watch whatever I can when I can. But for because I see the post too, like, man, I wish we could see how he does that on those nights. It's boring. It's just me writing on a board. There's no music. It's not like I'm dancing. It's not like I'm talking. It's not like there's a whole. It's just me writing notes on boards, and I may have three easels set up. So this, of course, the big easel, and we've got two other smaller easels I may have set up. So I'd have a board here, and a board there, and the TV in the middle. I'm surrounded by boards. So if I need a washroom break, I have to take that before I'm surrounded by boards, because it gets a little dicey at that point. That might be the entertaining part. Nuts, I'm surrounded by boards and I need to get out of the room, because that can be tough. But yeah, so tonight's going to be interesting. Looking forward to it. And hey, thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. The channel at over 223,000 subscribers now, so that's greatly appreciated, each and every one of you. Thanks so much for stopping by. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'll wait. All right, thank you very much. And if you feel like giving to charity, because we're about a month out from Christmas, there's the charitable link and the charitable donation link to the charity that I work with, which I would love to have paired up to my YouTube account like other YouTubers do, but it's not listed there. So, right. But anyways, yeah, in the description below the video, go ahead. $2, $5, $10, whatever. And it all adds up. It all works out. And then at the end of this month, I'm going to throw some more cash that way as well. And then I'll let you guys know how much money altogether was raised for a good cause, for families of kids dealing with childhood cancers and blood disorders. So thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. It means a lot. Thanks again. I will talk to you guys very soon.